Welcome back to Stauffer Garage, guys. Today's detail is of a Ford Explorer that has been kid trashed. This car has been used to shuffle kids back and forth to the hockey rink, to school, you name it. But because it has to do with a hockey family, it's near and dear to my heart. Because if you guys didn't know, I actually grew up playing ice hockey. I played my whole life. I played juniors, I played college. I love it. I love the sport. But for today, we're gonna be completely restoring the inside of this vehicle, making it look like brand new again. And if you guys are new, smash subscribe down below. It means a lot to me. Helps support this channel, making all of these details possible. Let's get started.
All right, so in typical Stauffer Garage fashion, obviously let's get everything out of the vehicle, from the car seats to the floor mats to all the trash on the floor that won't be able to get sucked up by the shop vac. One good thing about most cup holders and different cubbies is there's actually rubber liners or some sort of liner that you can remove to make it easier when you clean. Once I have all the larger objects removed from the vehicle, that is when I start the vacuuming process. One thing I recommend is definitely have different attachments for your vacuum, whether it's this larger tool for carpet, a crevice tool, or just some sort of brush tool, because each one has its purpose and definitely helps with making your detail easier. Here's a perfect example where this crevice tool is definitely useful, from getting to the back of the seat pockets or getting in between the seat belts on the seats. One of the biggest reasons why I'm so thorough with the vacuuming process at the beginning is so that way when I'm doing a cleaning of the seats or different parts of the vehicle, you don't have excess dirt that's going to clog up your tools or your towels when you're working on the stuff later on.
So there's a TV wired into this headrest, and when that was wired, they didn't put any sort of connector. So the wires are fed from under all the way up through as one solid piece, whereas if there was a connector, I could remove it. So this seat sadly won't be able to be removed, and I'm guessing the other one is. So what we're going to focus on is, at least if it's up, we can get vacuumed underneath it and then go from there.
And this is definitely the first time I've not been able to get seats removed from a car, but the only option I did have if I wanted to would be to cut the wires, resplice them, and I really just didn't want to do that to the customer. For this car, all the floor mats were intact and in place, which really helped with removing a lot of the excess extraction that would need to be done. So majority of it was just on the sides or the insides of the floor mats themselves. One tip when you guys are vacuuming your seats is definitely use your hand to stretch the seams out or the different creases in the seats out as you're vacuuming to remove any excess dirt that might be clogged in those areas. Now this trunk carpet is one of those devil carpets that has the fibers so dense or just the certain type of blend that makes it super difficult to get anything out. So I had to use the drill brush just specifically to agitate it to get that dirt that was embedded in it removed so I could vacuum it out. Now for these floor mats, you really can't tell, but they were super crusty to the point where they had no pliability whatsoever. But once I had them all clean, they were definitely a lot more softer and easier to form. And if you're interested to know what products I use in my videos, I have them all linked in the description box below for you guys to check out if you want. Now whether it's fabric seats, floor mats, or carpets in the vehicle, I use the same process across all of them. The first thing I do is always vacuum them up, followed by using my sprayer to spray on my extractor solution. And this is more of a pre-treatment stage that I let sit for about 5 minutes or so. And then I use my drill brush to agitate the fibers to get that liquid a little bit more saturated into the floor mats or the carpet itself. And then I use my extractor to remove it.
Watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me, drifting to places I should leave. So close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go.
And as you guys can see from this pour, just after 2 floor mats, how dirty this water is. It's definitely more like a Coca-Cola type solution, especially with the suds.
forget all that we had. I'm rolling like water in the sea. The memories crashing into me. So close to the edge of something so worth it. You have the world right at your feet. It almost is all we'll ever be. We can't get any Let me go. Left me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer.
Now for the door panels, I'm just using my all-purpose cleaner, which this one is from Chemical Guys. It's Chemical Guys All Clean. And then I'm using my bristle brushes from Fox Clean to agitate the door panels itself to get any of the dirt that is attached to it loose, and then using my clean microfiber towels to wipe them clean.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger between.
And for the windows, I'm using invisible glass from Stoners to clean the windows, and I have a two-towel method that I like to use where one towel is for actual scrubbing of the glass to get any of the dirt or grime off, and then a second towel to ensure that there's a streak-free finish.
Take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
Now for these door sills in most vehicles, there's these grooves that usually get caked with dirt pretty hard, and I have a separate bristle brush that I use for this one, which is a much stiffer fiber, and you could use a drill brush here too, but typically I use this handheld one so that way I don't splatter any of the dirt or spray elsewhere in the vehicle.
It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to
And for the air vents, I have these foam brushes, which are actually used for paint and crafting, and they do an excellent job at getting into those tight to reach spots in those air vents to get them clean.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words to remember.
Now, one thing to always remember when you're cleaning the shifter area is to definitely move the shifter back and forth to clean out the boot on the front and the back, so that way you don't miss that one area. Now, the same brush that I use on those sill panels, I actually use on the pedals as well, because gas pedals and brake pedals and even your emergency brake pedal always gets stuck with this dirt that never wants to come off with a softer brush, so you definitely have to be a little more aggressive to get those clean. Now for the seats, I'm using my all-purpose cleaner to, one, get all the grease and all the grime off of them, but then I'm following up with my leather conditioner to, one, restore the shine, but also, two, make them softer and more subtle, so that way they stretch and are more pliable and they don't cause further cracking.
I can feel it somewhere inside, haunting like a drug I keep on wanting. There's a love that fits so perfect, it's hard to believe. There's a reason I can feel my heart stop beating, and the air gets tough just breathing. I'm alone, but I'm still feeling like someone's with me. It's strange, I know, but I feel like you're here with me, like chasing ghosts. I know you're out there.
Now, if you have cup holders or anything that has a lot of crap that's kind of solidified inside of it, definitely spray it early and let it sit while you're working on another part of the vehicle, so that way it helps loosen it up and make it easier to clean.
Time is unfair, 'cause I know you're out there somewhere, patient, waiting unaware, feeling like your grip might slip too soon. But I'm running, chasing speed and gunning. I'll be right there all of a sudden. I feel your heartbeat lead me straight to you. It's strange, I know, but I feel like you're here with me. It's like chasing ghosts. I know you're out there.
Now that I have everything else wiped down and clean inside the vehicle, it is now time to extract and clean all of the carpets. And here on the driver's side, you can see that a lot of the dirt is concentrated more on the sides and on the front and the back, everywhere else where the floor mat was, because the floor mats actually did an excellent job at containing the dirt and keeping it off the majority of the floor. The good news is every carpet inside the vehicle honestly only needed about 1 to maybe 2 passes in certain spots to get completely cleaned. For the windshield, I've actually been using this tool from Invisible Glass 2. It's actually this reacher arm that articulates, and you have a pad that uses it to, one, scrub the windshield first, and then there's this follow-up one that's specifically for drying. And honestly, it might seem excessive, but as I've gotten used to using the tool more, it makes cleaning the windshield in those hard-to-reach spots just a lot easier and gives you more leverage to make sure that you can scrub them clean. Now when I finished this detail, it was honestly perfect timing with the sunset, so the after photos and after shots were truly breathtaking, made the car look amazing because the way the sun was shining in, and the before and after shots speak volume to how well this car turned out. I wasn't able to get the owner's reaction to the vehicle, but let me tell you, they were extremely happy with how it turned out. And I also want to thank you guys for watching today's video, being part of the Stauffer Garage crew, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.